Greetings. I am Brother Sylvester Muhammad, and this is my wife.
Sister Sandra Muhammad.
And we are amongst the many students in the classroom of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his representation of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Welcome once again to the timeline of the original man. Today we're just gonna recap the timeline. Approximately 7 to 8 trillion. Because nobody really knows. Because only God was there, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said approximately 7 to 8 trillion years ago, God created himself from the dark womb of space. And he created his second self, the woman.
That's right.
Brothers, one day I'm just going to have to show us just how precious she is. Matter of fact, you can't know her, or you can't know God until you first get to know her. And if you're a man that don't have a wife, I'm sorry, you are quite imbalanced, if not crippled. So that's another story for another time. 72 trillion years ago, all right? The stars, 66 trillion years ago, the deportation of the moon. But now we're going to be dealing with original man, know thyself. Original man, know thyself. And its connection to the criteria. The tribe of Shabazz that was here 50,000 years ago, which we are descendants of. We are of the tribe of Shabazz. It came with the earth we're the ones that came with the earth after the deportation. But I'm saying that to say because me and my wife was talking, and as we approach, oh man, what they call Black History Month. You know, Carter G. Woodson started Black History, and it was a week when I was in high school. Now we have just excelled to a month. No. It's impossible to take our story, 7 to 8 trillion years worth of our story, and put it into a week or a month in the shortest month of the year.
That's right.
But today, we're going to give you a thumbnail sketch of who the original man is, starting with the tribe of Shabazz.
That's right.
So again, our story, just truth. All right, take the red. Don't take the blue. Matter of fact, you need the red because the blue is what got us sick.
That's right.
Believing in something other than ourselves. Let's move forward. Okay, thank you, baby.
And black is universal. There's no way you can learn that type of knowledge
That's
in
right.
a week or a month.
Black is universal. Now, my wife is going to read. Okay, I'm going to let her start to read before I get into these pictures. These are very powerful pictures that deals with our story, not his story.
That's right.
Okay, she's going to read from Closing the Gap.
Right, I'll be reading from Closing
The minister is
Gap.
dealing with the tribe of Shabazz.
That's right. This is on the bottom of page 10 over to 11 and 12. Okay. You ready, sweetie?
Please.
Okay. When you have a thought of an idea that causes you to disobey the will of God, then you have broken the law of Islam. We are descendants of the tribe of Shabazz that also broke the law of Islam. Our father Shabazz, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, wanted to go down into the jungle of East Asia, and it is now called Africa, to make a people close to nature.
Close to nature.
He was one of the major scientists of the 12. When he brought his idea before the rest, they disagreed with him. Naturally, if the majority disagrees with you, submission is required of you.
It's required of you.
But Shabazz did not agree with the other scientists. So they said, well, you cannot make your man here. So he went out into the jungle of East Asia, as we now call it Africa.
Okay, now Shabazz was a rebel, as you see. The Minister Farrakhan is describing him. You know, but he like Yaqub, Dr. Yaqub, he had a determined idea. He didn't know what was compelling him to do what he did. But he was compelled to do that because it had been written in our story
That's right.
that we write approximately 25,000 years at one time, 35,000 years after the deportation of the moon. Here's the deportation of the moon. Then here's the 50,000 year timeline. Now notice every 50,000 years, two stars appear in the southeastern sky. And those two stars represent a universal change. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in the criteria, those two stars are present today. So that means that Shabazz was going to send us through something that only God would recognize it when it's finished. And he would use it for an idea that he had in mind
right.
to make infinity. Read on. Infinity material.
That's right.
Okay? Something that will last for infinity.
Ever. That's right.
Ever. Come on, baby.
Okay. So he went out into the jungle of East Asia, as we now call it Africa, where he would be free to make his man.
Yes.
I was very upset with the scientist one day.
Please, say that loud. Listen to this. The minister speaking. I mean, he's so sincere.
Yes, he is.
He was pained. Come on.
I was very upset with the scientist one day as I was studying. I wrote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad a letter rebuking the scientists for leaving us in that condition in the jungle of East Asia, going into savagery, losing the knowledge of our high civilization that we once had. I was angry with the scientists for sending so many prophets to the Caucasian people and not sending anyone to raise us from our condition.
Yes, yes.
Well, when I met with him, he told me, don't send, when he met with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Thank you.
He said, don't send any letters like that again through my secretarial staff, but approach me directly. Then he said, well, God could say it like this. I didn't put him out there in words. He went out there. He disagreed. He rebelled. So I'm not under any obligation after he rebelled to go after him.
Yes.
So here you have the Caucasian bringing the children of a rebel, Shabazz,
Shabazz, a rebel, Shabazz. Come on.
out of Africa, coming to a land of another rebel.
Yes.
The Native Americans.
The Native Americans.
The Native American rebelled and broke the law of Islam. So you have three rebels now. You have the Caucasian who has rebelled against God.
Yes.
You have Shabazz people who rebel. You have the Native Americans who did the same.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we're in the time of the coming of God, the most merciful of those who show mercy.
The fullness of time.
That's right. He comes now to retrieve what is lost and to bring it again to his once high position.
Yes.
With himself, meaning with the law. He wants the Native American to go along with the original man, to be reconciled again to that high position.
Yes, yes.
So with means accompanying us in the process of resurrection.
With means accompanying us in the process of resurrection. Talking about our the 17 million with the 2 million Indians. Okay, come on.
With means being in harmony with God and with us in the desire to be resurrected and reconciled to God.
Yes.
Thus we can reclaim the original position that we and they had with God.
Yes, yes.
With means to be in harmony, to be in agreement, to be in accord, to be with. With here means not just to go along for the ride, but be in absolute unity with the spirit of the journey.
Of the journey. In other words,
so beautiful.
with the spirit of God is preparing us and the Native Americans for rulership. Because we both have suffered under Yaku's grafted devil.
That's right.
The enemy.
That's right.
Satan.
Satan.
Come on, baby.
That's right. 17 million with the 2 million Indians. Well, if every man will go unto his own and find refuge under his own vine and fig tree, then the question that most the question that must be asked is, what is his own?
What is his own?
The Native American, what is his own?
Mm.
The original black man, what is his own? His own is Islam,
Yes.
the nature made by God in which he has created the human being.
The nature made by God in which he has created the human being. Islam means entire submission.
That's right.
You're a Christian, don't you want to obey God? Hebrew,
That's right.
obey God. Muslim, obey God. It's just an Arabic word that means obedience to God.
That's right.
Come on, baby.
So that's the vine and the fig tree that each of us will go to, so that we will not only go to the vine and fig tree, we will go
Obedience to
together
God.
to that vine
Yes.
and fig tree. We'll find joy and peace under that vine and fig tree,
Yes.
which is Islam,
Mm.
the nature of God and the nature in which he created both the children of the tribe of Shabazz
Mm-hmm.
and the native people who were exiled over 16,000 years ago
Wow.
to this part of our planet. Our planet.
To this part of our planet.
Planet.
Okay, over 16,000 years ago. Now we're going to go into Message to the Black Man in America by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, in Message to the Black Man, I'll be reading from Original Man, Know Thyself.
Now this is where I got, this reading is where I got this concept for Original Man that I added to these two pictures. Original Man, Know Thyself. 50,000 years ago, the tribe of Shabazz.
That's right.
Come on, baby.
Allahu Akbar. Original Man, Know Thyself, page 31, Message to the Black Man. It is knowledge of self that the so-called Negroes lack, which keeps them from enjoying freedom, justice, and equality.
See, it is knowledge of self that the so-called Negro lacks. See, any man, we've said it over and over again, that will not treat you right, that same man ain't gonna teach you right.
That's right.
Negro History Week, Negro History Month. And we settle for that.
That's
Meantime, our children are starving in the public school system for the lack of knowledge.
That's right.
And they are dropping out because that they're being taught like I was taught don't agree with their psyche.
That's right.
And they automatically rebel against it,
That's right.
and they hit the street.
That's right. And if, if our children in school are learning black history for just 1 month, what do you think is going on for the rest of the school year? They're actually being turned into slaves mentally.
Mhm.
They're indoctrinating our children.
Indoctrinating our
And
children
it's
with
really
what?
sad, with poison.
And white
Supremacy.
and white
supremacy.
supremacists.
And that's the thing, once we really look at what is really happening, when you think of it like that, 1 month for black history, and during the rest of the time they're dumbing us down with white history, white supremacy, that's really a sad thing. And that's why we must separate from them.
Separate.
And that's why we must teach our children when they get home. You can't just let them go to school
Right,
and let
right.
them teach them what they're giving them and then not bring them home and give them the truth from these books. So we really have a big job, because our children are falling between the cracks because they are definitely being taught the wrong knowledge in the school system.
The black man is the original man. The Asiatic black man.
That's right.
The maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe.
That's
They're
right.
not going to teach him that. Come on,
Right,
baby.
They're not going to do it.
They're not gonna
Okay,
do
it
it.
says, this belongs to them divinely as much as it does to other nations of the earth. It is Allah's God's will and purpose that we shall know ourselves. Therefore, he came himself.
Therefore, what?
He came himself.
Okay, fulfilling again Abraham's promise.
That's right.
Know for sure to Abraham. You know the story.
That's
It's
right.
being fulfilled. He came himself. Come on, baby.
Therefore, he came himself to teach us the knowledge of self.
Of self.
Who is better knowing of who we are than God?
Than God.
Himself.
Himself.
That's right.
Teach the whole apostle.
He has declared that we are descendants of the Asian black nation and of the tribe
And
of
of the
Shabazz.
tribe of Shabazz. Again, the tribe of Shabazz is those of us that came, that survived the deportation of the moon. And he's going to get into where we discovered as the best part of the planet Earth, and we're going to go into further. Go on, baby.
Okay. He states, you might ask, who is this tribe of Shabazz? Originally, they were the tribe that came with the earth, or this part.
Or this part.
66 trillion years ago, when a great explosion on our planet divided it into two parts. One we call Earth and the other Moon. That's Pangea.
That's Pangea, okay?
You don't know? Yeah.
The deport.
That's it.
Pangea, when it was separated.
This is all of it together, and it was separated.
After doing the deportation.
Right.
The white man calls it fission, okay? But he believed it, okay?
That's right.
We call it the deportation of moon.
That's right.
Thanks to the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's represented by Master Barak Muhammad. Come on, baby.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You might ask, who is this tribe of Shabazz? Originally, they were the tribe that came with the earth, or this part, 66 trillion years ago, when a great explosion on our planet divided into two parts. One we call Earth and the other Moon. This was done by one of our scientists, God, who wanted the people to speak one language,
Yes.
one dialect for all, but was unable to bring this about. He decided to kill us by destroying our planet, but still he failed. We were lucky to be on this part, Earth, which did not lose its water in the mighty blasting away of the part called Moon. That's oh God.
Teach the whole apostle. Come on.
Beautiful.
Message to the black man in America.
Yes. We, the tribe of Shabazz, says the Lord God, were the first to discover the best part of our planet to live on.
Okay, hold it right there. Go on. No, read.
Okay.
Identify. What's the best part?
The rich Nile Valley of Egypt and the present seat of the holy city Mecca, Arabia.
Okay, the rich Nile valleys of Egypt and the present seat of the holy city of Mecca. Now, this is Akhenaten, one of the most renowned. What makes him most renowned? Because they tried to write Akhenaten out of history in Queen Nefertiti. This is his son, okay, King Tutankhamun, okay, and that's his wife. But his find was the greatest find ever to be found in the annals of history in the Valley of the Kings, okay? Therefore giving credit to his father, who was the first amongst one of the first to believe in the belief in one God. Okay? Then here's the temple at Luxor. Now notice the little people down there. These are people that are walking, the tourists, they're looking at these statues. Why would we leave these statues, okay, as a reminder that the people who this planet belongs to, when it comes to the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of them, they are giants.
That's right.
Okay? In comparison to what you or your slave, your former slave master and his children are trying to teach you. Okay? And then there's the pyramid, the great pyramid of Giza. Okay? And the Sphinx out there. There was some more than little people there as tourists. You know, they touring what we left as a reminder. You know, the Caucasian like to go into the temples in Egypt and call them, and read what he called hieroglyphics. No, in studying the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, all of this is hieroglyphics. Okay, these are symbols and signs of a once great people. This is a symbol and a sign of a once great people. Now look at what it tells you. This is what it tells me anyway.
Right.
I don't know what it tells you to tell me. You know, thanks to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, I can filter what the white man wants you to believe and come out with what God is telling us to believe. Now, this was done, in my opinion, somewhere between that last 25,000 years of this 50,000 year timeline of Shabazz. The Caucasian have been trying to figure, well, how old are they? He done went from trying to say 6,000 years, because that's when he was made, to 10,000 years. The latest been 15,000 years, on up to 20. I believe that we built this somewhere in the last 25,000 year timeline so that we can leave a sign there. We built them to remind them of who is the original people of this planet. A lion's body with a human's head. Some say it's female, some say it's male. Well, God is both, male and female. In fact, that's why it's so important to get to know the woman, because most of us as males, we are patterned after our former slave masters and his children when it comes to our concept of what makes a man, the egotistical thing. No, study the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, huh? And what he said when he was with Master Father Muhammad, for 3½ years. He said it. I mean, listen to the words of the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, huh? This man wooed me, huh? Yes. Like a man would woo a woman. That means that this man Elijah Muhammad had the capacity to take the word coming from God after recognizing him. 25,000 he gave names in Detroit, but only one recognized him for who he was. So he gave birth to a man's child, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay. Now look at Minister Farrakhan. His mother wanted a female, but he came out male. But that's part of the making of this man Farrakhan with that feminine characteristics so that he can absorb the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and Elijah Muhammad can pass to him what he got from Master Father Muhammad. So that lion, either way you want to look at it, it's God.
That's right.
Okay?
And the master wooed him with word. With the word.
With the word. Okay? I'm telling you, brother, if you're hung up on your ego, then I'm telling you, that can be the destruction of your life as it is finna destroy all of America as we've known it. Right. Now, in my conclusion on this is the pyramid. Now, in my study, I found that there are 2.2 million blocks, okay, granite blocks, each one reaching over, weighing over a ton each. And the Caucasians would try to convince you that they were built with cranes. Come on, man. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us how they were built when he told us how we put mountains on the planet during the deportation of the moon to bring stability back to the earth. We used scout ships. We used scout ships that are 1,500 of those ships are on the mother wheel while we speak. And you will be seeing a lot of them lately, very soon as the minister prepare to depart. Now, 2.2 million in my assessment, 2.2 million black men showed up on the mall. He called for 1 million, and in my assessment, now I'm a student. Okay. I could be wrong, but in my assessment, 2.2 showed up. All right, letting the whole world know. See, white folks don't look at that million-man march like we do.
That's right.
Oh my God, the resurrection is in effect.
That's right.
All right, the million-man march was called a glimpse of heaven. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone, but that's my assessment.
Also, too, I wanted to say in reference, to this is what we have to teach our children.
Yes.
Because they're not going to teach our children this. They know about it, but they do not want us to teach our children that. They don't want us to know it. And I forgot the man's name that does the looking for your finding your roots.
Henry Gates.
Henry Gates, looking for your roots. He never take black people to any of this, and that's because he's paid by them to actually do what he's doing.
He is not the geneticist that's getting paid for doing this genetic research.
That's right.
He does a very good, research on their story. In reference to us. Right. But that is not our story.
Because we don't just have a slave. I don't want to say story. It's going to be his story. In this case, it's his story.
Yes.
We have greater than his story. We have our story. And this is what they don't want us to know. So he can take Caucasians and everyone else overseas and everywhere else back to their country to find their true roots.
Mhm.
But he never take
He
us
never.
to find our true roots. It's always to slavery, and that's it.
And quiet as kept. He's interviewed the minister, but he cut it up. He didn't give what the minister told him to give. But the minister, he understands that a slave will do what a slave does. Now, again, this is us when we were on our decline. Because it had to be hidden.
That's right.
It had to be hidden, okay? Kept a secret. Because
right.
no God can use what another God brought. That God must take what he brought into hiding.
That's right.
We left a sign,
You left signs.
but it goes into hiding to let the one that's coming behind him, Yaqub, who was the God of his dispensation in time and his made man, but they have to come up with their own concepts and ideas as we gave them 59,999 to make Yaqub, but they only used one, and that was the book of Yaqub, or Dr. Yaqub himself. Okay, read on, baby, because I got to go to the other side too.
Oh, okay. All right. The origin of our kinky hair, says Allah, came from one of our dissatisfied scientists 50,000 years ago, who wanted to make all of us tough and hard in order to endure the life of the jungle of
Okay.
East Asia.
The origin of our kinky hair. The origin, I don't have no more hair right now, but the origin of our kinky hair. So read it again. Did what?
Okay, who wanted to make all of us tough and hard in order to endure the life of the jungle of East Asia, Africa, and to overcome the beast there. But he failed to get the others to agree with him.
Okay, hold it right there.
Hold on, you are the
Go on.
kinky hair. The origin of our kinky hair, says Allah, came from one of our dissatisfied scientists 50,000 years ago.
Okay, that's Shabazz.